This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
I'm Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points. And we've got some powerful new information for you today. You need to make sure that you're getting your house of worship in order, because I'm going to tell you this right now. With the new changes that's coming down, if you're not in order, the opposite of being in order is being out of order. And I do believe this, based on all of my years of experience, that you really want your house of worship to be in order. I don't think for a minute that you want to continue to be out of order. But here's your problem. You don't know how, you don't know where, and many of you don't even know when to start. Well, I can answer one of those questions for you right now, and that is, don't wait or delay another day for you to get your house of worship in order. I have learned this, that if you'll get your house of worship in order, that you'll have a whole lot more time trying to get some good scriptures on Sunday instead of worrying about an IRS on Monday. A lot of churches are worried about an IRS audit on a Monday, and they can't get the proper scriptures for that Sunday morning message. I want to try to take that burden off of you with Breaking Points. So grab a pad and a pen and let's get started if we can. The first point I want you to put down is information returns. And on information returns, I want to make sure that you understand, as we go through information returns, there's many information returns that could be and should be filed. In fact, some people say that there's over 100 information returns that the church has to comply with and file. One information return would be a W-2 form, because it gives what? It gives information to who? To the IRS, and also to the person that received the compensation. So a W-2 form would be an information return. But the most popular form of all these that create the greatest form of penalties is referred to as a 1099, and that's an information return. Now, I've already covered 1099s in a prior session, but I want to cover the penalties now. I'd like to read something to you. And the first point that you should have put down on your pad and pen there was simply information returns. Now, listen carefully to this as I read this to you today. It says that the code requires that information returns be appropriately filed with the Internal Revenue Service, and that a copy be provided to the taxpayer in regards to any income or compensation that that individual has received during that calendar year. So the first thing that we need to know there on information returns is that it is a commandment. It is a IRS commandment that says, thou shalt issue 1099 forms and information returns. It also goes along with the book of Romans 13:1-6 that says, thou shalt issue and comply with all of the laws of the land. It's a commandment of some type. So therefore, it's important for us to make sure that we're complying with these penalties. Now, if you don't comply with information returns, filing all information returns, then there are penalties that will be imposed upon you. Now, the second point, put down responsible party. Listen carefully to this. A responsible party. A responsible party is anyone that is responsible for the fiduciary and the financial affairs of a nonprofit or tax-exempt organization. Listen to point A. Penalties are now transferable to the responsible parties, whether they are paid or whether they are a volunteer. So what you have to look at is this, is just because you are a free bookkeeper, and I guess I probably should give you a definition at this point. Just because you think you have a bookkeeper, she may not be a bookkeeper. They may just be a check writer. And just because they are a volunteer check writer or church treasurer or church bookkeeper, volunteer, no pay, then these penalties can still be transferred to the responsible parties. And ladies and gentlemen, this doesn't trickle down. This trickles up, and then it comes down on the other side. Is the pastor a responsible party? Yes. Are the board of trustees, the board of elders, the board of deacons, are they responsible parties? Yes. What about the church bookkeeper, treasurer, church clerk, or church check writer? Are they responsible parties? The answer to that is yes. Now you have the decision to make. You're a decision maker, aren't you? Then you need to make a decision that you're not going to delay another day to get your house of worship in order. And I believe with all of my heart that you really want to do that. By the way, these penalties start at $50 for each return that you did not submit, all the way up to $250,000. So these penalties are huge. Make sure that you don't wait another day and delay another day to get your house of worship in order. These penalties can be stiff. Until next time, I'm Michael Chitwood. I'll see you tomorrow.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.